Bro, when people, what I got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person. Let's say you don't like me. Like, you don't know me. Like, you feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Him. And everybody that's cool with him, I mean, with him.
Same question for you. Proud father.
There's disrespect. And then there's whatever that was from Terence Crawford. When Bud went live and basically tore GervontaDavis's entire resume apart, he wasn't just talking trash, he was declaring war. And now Tank has officially responded, and he's not holding back. Break it down. What began as a few light jabs on a podcast has now escalated.
If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
Into an all-out crossfire between two of the most dangerous men in boxing. Tank Davis didn't bother with a press conference or call into ESPN. He went straight to his Instagram story, straight to live, fueled by frustration, fire, and a touch of ego, and fired back at Crawford in classic Tank fashion. His words? They love to talk when they know it's not realistic. Tank made it crystal clear. He sees Terence Crawford's call-outs as nothing but smoke and mirrors, a distraction, a clout grab, and honestly, from Tank's perspective, it's not. Hard to see why. Crawford just unified the welterweight division, and now suddenly he's targeting GervontaDavis, a guy fighting 2 weight classes below him. But Tank wasn't finished. He went after Crawford's age, called out his slow feet, and even questioned why, despite all the accolades, Bud isn't pulling the same numbers. And that's where this beef goes deeper. Because for Tank...
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
147?
147.
Shit, I tapped that chan. You know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he
He ain't
is.
got no chance.
I already know he is.
He said no chance.
I got round 5.
Shit, I got round 6.
We'll go with that. I'm going to put my money around 6.
Now let's unpack the real tension simmering beneath all of this. Crawford's interview? It was dripping with elite fighter energy. No lies told. But Tank heard something different in those clips. A man who suddenly remembered who the real box office king is, and now wants a piece of the action. Funny how they didn't...
GervontaDavis say you need the money.
Shit.
What's going on with you and Gervonta?
If I'm a boxer, he a boxer, you a boxer, we all need the money.
I ain't doing it for free.
Thank you.
What if Gervonta said, hey, I'll come up to 154. I'll come up to 154 while you talking.
Oh man.
You go to you'll fight Gervonta at 154?
I wish him the best. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why did they come?
Mention my name until I started breaking records. And Tank's not wrong. Gervonta has been headlining sold-out arenas, pulling in 8-figure gates, and trending on social media every time he so much as blinks. Meanwhile, Bud is only just now getting mainstream attention, largely after calling out Canelo Alvarez. So yeah, Tank sees himself as the draw here. And from his perspective, Crawford's just riding the wave. But there's another side to this that Tank's response didn't address. The truth bombs Crawford dropped about his fight with Lamont Roach. Crawford's critique wasn't just spicy. If
I was easy work, well, you know, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy, because it would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168, your weight, no catch weight, no none of that, and dethrone you. So, you know, he got that in the back of his head. You know, this guy, for one, he's tough.
Crawford broke down Tank's performance with clinical precision. He pointed out that moment in the 9th round when Tank took... a knee, and no one called it a knockdown. He brought up the greasy towel controversy, and he didn't miss the part where referee Steve Willis started the count, then stopped halfway, threw, like someone hit pause.
You can help me out on this. This last fight, Roach and Gervonta. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Man.
I mean, you can't take a knee. That's a knockdown. Whether because I saw Floyd break his hand hitting the guy and took a knee, and they gave Floyd an 8 count. So I'm trying to figure out how Gervonta avoided that, and then I'm trying to figure out how he got his guy come up to the top of the ring and wipe grease out his eyes. They do that now, bud.
I guess that's part of the new, you know what I mean, boxing era.
When you saw that, tell me when you saw this, you saw him take a knee.
And that's not just a bad look for Tank. It raises serious questions about possible corruption. And you better believe Tank felt that, because one of the rare moments where his public image it just got dragged back into the spotlight by another fighter.
Did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
And then you see he go to the apron, and this guy come up to the top of the ring. Well, he's like, hold on, what's going on?
I'm just as confused as you. I said, huh? I was just like, oh, that's crazy. And Steve Willis, a great referee.
He is.
And he started counting then.
Tank didn't directly address the Roach fight controversy in his response, but his tone said it all.
This is my opinion. Sure. It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision, or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw. No, if you take the knee, man, if you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, you know, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. You know, the referee with the eyes, you know, he's like, a point should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not, look, did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed? Who knows? Only he knows. But what I saw, when you take a knee, that's an automatic point. That's just the rule. This is not basketball. This is not, you know, this is not basketball where, wait, hold on, my ankle hurts. Hold on, let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, I mean, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what New York is gonna settle on, but the rules are the rules.
He called out the fake narratives, told fans to re-watch the fight without bias, and made it clear, I ain't losing sleep over what Bud said. He's just talking 'cause the camera.
Cards. Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinsky scores about 115 to 113 in favor of GervontaDavis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
But fans weren't convinced. Social media lit up with reactions. Some said Tank's response was too calm, while others called it deflection. The one thing he didn't do was call Crawford out directly. No, let's make it happen. No, I'll move up and show you. No, send the contract. And that's where the pressure...
You said going out on 3 fights. You know the last 2 fights you want to go out on? Yeah, the last fight you want to go out on. Like, who do you have anybody in mind?
No, I'm saying, no, I don't have no name right now. But I got somebody I want to call out after this fight.
You said you got somebody you want to call out after this fight?
Yeah.
Who is that?
I'm not going to tell you.
Is it Lomachenko?
Who?
Somebody asked Lomachenko.
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that?
Who?
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready.
I need 3 now.
Steven Espinoza said Shakur turned down a 1-fight deal to fight you because he wanted a multi-fight deal. What's your thoughts on that?
He's not worth it. He's not worth no multi-fight. He's not even worth it. Come on, man. Adam got to fight somewhere else and prove himself and then, like, you feel me? You know how they got UFC and, like, the underground shit? He got to fight on the underground shit and then get mad.
He got to go to the G League.
You have an idea?
Because if Tank truly thinks Bud is just talking nonsense, why not settle it in the ring? Instead, we're watching 2 fighters play a game of long-distance chess, and it's starting to feel like neither one wants to commit. Now here's a new angle that no one's really talking about. The size mismatch. Crawford's a natural welterweight. He's dominated at 140, 147, and now he's flirting with 100.
Tank would never even think about to come up to 154.
All right, what about 47, though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why, though?
Because I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's like
just not your cup of tea? That's just not your...
Yeah, I don't like nothing about him. I just felt like, you know, he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his ways.
154, Tank. He's barely ventured outside of 135, and that matters because in modern boxing, jumping divisions isn't just about heart, it's about health. Can your body handle the weight and still stay explosive? Can your punch resistance survive the higher weight class? That's why Tank's never rushed into 147. The smoke is different up there. Let's not forget, Bud isn't washed. He's aging like fine wine, still sharp, still fast, still a problem. But Tank sees something else, a slower, older fighter who might not survive one of his signature overhand lefts. So now we've got a new narrative. Is this a legacy move for Bud, or is it a trap for Tank? Speaking of legacy moves, let's draw a parallel real quick. Remember when Mike Tyson made his big comeback against Jake Paul? The hype was insane. The build-up had every social media platform in a chokehold, millions of dollars in pay-per-view, revenue, headlines worldwide, celebrities even showing up like it was the Oscars. But once that bell rang, reality hit. Tyson looked old, low, and vulnerable. Despite the heart, the experience, and that killer aura, he just couldn't match Jake Paul's youth and cardio. The fight made money, but it damaged Tyson's legacy because losing to a YouTuber, no matter how good he's gotten, was not the note Iron Mike should have gone out on. Now, imagine Tank versus Crawford going the same route. If Tank moves up too soon, before his body's fully ready, before he's physically matured into a welterweight, He risks pulling a Tyson. All hype, no stamina. One loss that changes everything. Because in this era, a single defeat can tank a brand, no pun intended. But here's the twist. Tank isn't scared of losing. At least that's what he says in his IG Live. He made it clear. I'm not ducking. I just move smart. Smart. Or safe. Because Crawford...
What's your take on this Tyson thing?
I don't generally like the idea of 58-year-old men fighting. Your reflex is going to be slower. You can't take shots as much. And then you see him hit the pads. And you go, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, this is still fucking terrifying. He still has the ability to deliver those punches. And if any one of those hits anybody, they're fucked. There's a video of Tyson hitting the bag as a 19-year-old. And he's throwing these combinations like... And he's 210 pounds. It's insane to watch. Yeah. He was so fast. And that was a big factor in his success. He does not have that kind of speed anymore. But he's still fast. He's not slow.
Crawford's been in wars. He's taken risks. He beat the guy that nobody...
GervontaDavis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes and, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see, oh, man.
You're going to have a pre-camp.
Then what the people going to say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
Thought he'd dominate, and he did it with ease. Meanwhile, Tank's team still handpicks fights with surgical precision. There's always a catch. A rehydration clause, a last-minute replacement, a tune-up. That is why fans are starting to side with Bud. They see a guy who's already faced the toughest challenges, calling out someone who hasn't. Bud Tank. And Bud aren't strangers. These guys have sparred, they've talked behind closed doors, and they've both been on the radar since their Olympic trials days. You can hear the familiarity in their voices when they talk about each other. Tank once said Crawford was cool, but not unbeatable. Crawford said Tank was talented, but protected. So this isn't just beef, it's personal history boiling over, and now it's spilling into the mainstream. Let's talk money for a second. This fight, it would break the internet.
Ryan Garcia and Tank, they talk about they might fight again, blah, blah, blah. There was a lot made about this rehydration clause. You don't have that. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think you have this in this one. So theoretically, he's supposed to come in at 168. Not in the fight, he might be 180, 185. You cool with that? I had sat down with Oscar, and Oscar said he think the rehydration clause had a lot to do with why Ryan didn't defeat Gervonta. What do you think?
I think 2 things. I'm gonna say 3 things. I think Ryan had an injury already previous and trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I think the weight did have an effect on him, because when you see him with Devin, he was totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Fighters.
Think about it. Tank Davis, boxing's knockout king, versus Terence Crawford, the undisputed technician. Young fans, old heads, hardcore purists, casuals, TikTok.
Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, Roach and him, back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about why Roach, because he signed and took the fight. You know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
And if you're tired of these dream fights never happening, smash that like button to send a message to the promoters. Enough ducking. Enough politics. We want the best versus the best. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because when this fight finally gets announced, or if someone drops another bombshell, you know we're breaking it down here first. I'll catch you in the next video.
Going up those weight classes to face him, how do you convince fans that he can beat Canelo?
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter. But, bro, I would say smaller fighters are always better than bigger fighters because they're smaller, they're not moving like that. This guy is great at what he do. He got. And another thing, bro, I don't be wanting to. How these guys is. Then you get hurt against
Magimov.
Who?
There you talking about
Gamboa. No, he got clipped by Gamboa, right? Right? What the fuck is he's looking that strong over the past year? I mean, these years. He ain't been getting clipped or nothing. So now, that's that snack shit. I'm telling you. Y'all laugh. I'm always.
No, do tell. Open up.
And that guy that a part of it, he been caught before. He went to jail for it.
You're talking about Victor Conti?
He went to jail, right?
Victor Conti?
Yeah. And he the owner of the snack shit, right? And he went to jail for it. Now it's like, you see Earl, I don't want to throw him out of the bus, but you see Earl said some things like that, like about the people using steroids, but he don't want to say no names, but come on, bro.